And another winter storm could be in the works, where the storm could bring wet snow or rain and icy conditions as millions head back to work and school after the holidays. 0 through tomorrow. A lot of wind chill advisories and warnings still in effect here. We're at the point where you have, 10, 15 minutes before frostbite can set in across some of these spots here if you're outside with uncovered skin in the Midwest. Right now, the temperature is 12 below in Minneapolis, 17 below into Des Moines, Iowa. So the cold is locked in. Any little bit of wind, even just, the tiny breeze is going to drive those wind chills down. Wind chill warnings are up, wind chill advisories all the way down here into the southern plains, into the south. I mean, look at Nashville and Little Rock. You all are under a wind chill advisory for today. All right, so here's a look at some of those wind chill numbers. Feeling like 25 below in Chicago, 28 below this morning in Minneapolis. Does it get better? Not really. Even as we start to get some heating from the sun, it's not going to work. There's just so much cold air, actually at all the levels of the atmosphere. So we are not going to see a lot of improvement. Wind chills, best case, get up to about 3 below 0 in places like St. Louis today. Actual highs 11 for you in St. Louis. We stay in the single digits. At least we climb above 0, but we're going to be watching those numbers here staying below average and staying on the cold side, meaning that if you are outside, you need to bundle up. If you're walking the dog, you need to bundle up. If you're even thinking about taking Christmas decorations down, which I don't know how you could, but you really need to bundle up. There's not a lot of time out there that you can bear with uncovered skin. Temperature of 6 degrees in Chicago this afternoon. That's your high. The wind is going to be about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and the wind chill will be 10 below, meaning you have 25 minutes before frostbite could set in if you are not completely covered up outside. All right, let's talk about some of that cold and how it's seeping into the south. We've got temperatures that are just going to be bitter all the way down into the deep south. These are spots where we could see some of those record cold high temperatures, meaning that the high has never been this low before on record for the state, all the way down to New Orleans. We're watching you into South Carolina, the low country. We have a little freezing drizzle this morning. Very, very chilly out there. Places like New York at JFK, Charleston, South Carolina. The forecast high today in Charleston, only 37. The old record, 45. So yeah, I think that one's a given. We're going to get that. New Orleans looking pretty good that we will beat it as well. It happens again tomorrow with 17 spots that could see a potential, not just the record cold high, but how about a record low? We don't see many of these anymore, right? It seems like more and more we're talking about record warmth, but not this week. It's all about the record cold. So here's the numbers. Indianapolis, 10 below. That'll beat your old record set back in the late 1800s. And when we look ahead to this week, there's a lot of old records that are going to fall. One set all the way back here to the late 1800s, and we'll see that continue through the week into the Northeast by the time we get to tomorrow with more record cold highs. And then by Friday morning, we're talking about record cold lows in places like the New York City and the tri-state, watching northern Ohio, watching lower Michigan, even into down through, say, southeastern Virginia and North Carolina. We could see some of those record cold numbers. All right, so these are the numbers. Binghamton, New York, 6 below. That would break the old record. Not so old. 1996 was the last time that was set. Toledo, Ohio, 11 below. That would break an old record set back in 1884. And Flint, Michigan, we're talking about 11 below, smashing the old record of 7 below. I mean, and then the afternoon doesn't get. The snow has been impressive, let me tell you, and we still have the chance for some snow out there today. Now, right now, we're getting a break. We're getting a little bit of light snow off of Lake Michigan, a little bit up here over, say, the Traverse City area where temperatures are 8 degrees right now. The lakes are starting to freeze over with this latest big cold snap that we've had. About 40% of Lake Erie right now actually has some ice on it. So that'll cut down on the lake effect snow, but it's not over just yet. And we still have the chance for that today, especially off of Lake Ontario where there's not as much ice, and we could see another foot of snow just south of Watertown. AMHQ is your travel headquarters, always at 40 minutes past the hour, and we'll get you out there today. It's a little bit of lake effect snow for New Year's Day travel. Pretty much confined to Michigan this morning, so we'll focus on that. This is I-31 in Muskegon, Michigan, snowing right now. Also 196 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. There's some snow in the area. It feels sub-zero in both of these spots. So here's the thing. If you are traveling, you need to make sure you have blankets, you have your winter weather kit, because if something happens and you get stuck for any reason, it is just frigid out there. So that's a big part of the problem, too, for really anyone traveling anywhere, snow or not. Make sure you have the winter weather car kit in your car just in case something happens. But we're going to be dealing with some of this lake effect today, especially I think up around Muskegon where we've got the light snow. It's not terribly heavy, but this stuff can add up as we've seen over the past couple of days. So be cautious. It's cold. Obviously, nothing is going to be melting. Let's look at that radar, Reynolds.
Yeah, let's keep the story.
It is winter weather update time. It is so clearly winter over the entire nation, actually, as we see temperatures that have dropped down to just frigid Arctic cold. Right now, the coldest spot in the country is in Hettinger, North Dakota, where it is 41 degrees below zero. We've seen some 50 below zero, so we'll see if we get there again this morning. We've got 5.6 million people under some type of winter alert, 41.9% of the U.S. with snow cover. I'll show you that map in just a second, and some of the big totals and big winners so far for the season. Of course, Erie, Pennsylvania. I just can't help but gawk at this number. So I was off when the big snow came, but I couldn't help but follow it nonstop. 121 plus inches of snow, and there's still some out there today. Gaylord, Michigan, Marquette, Michigan, two other spots in the running for the top three snowiest of the season. And yes, we got cold air, so yes, there will be more snow. So let's talk about that. Right now, the Arctic air is overall the largest story. We've got temperatures down into the 20s all the way down to New Orleans, 29 degrees. So yes, the frigid air has certainly sprawled out across the country. So we've got that. We've got the snow cover, and we've got at least 40%, it's 41.9% of the nation with a pretty good snowpack, especially up here over the north. And that means that as this Arctic air comes in, I mean, there's nothing to moderate it. It stays cold, right? So as we get through the rest of the week, where will the snow be next? We're going to show you the European model because this model, which, you know, we happen to like a lot, actually has a better chance of getting some accumulating snow here on the eastern seaboard as we look at this coastal storm coming our way. That's really the one to look at. There could be some Midwest snow in the week that follows, but this is the next one up. So we'll watch our jet stream take a nosedive over the southeast, right over the Gulf Stream, actually. That's going to help an area of low pressure form. This low that comes in, we think, is really going to dramatically deepen, meaning that the pressure drop, the winds are going to increase. So this will be a big wind maker. The question really is, how close to the coast does it track? And the timing, and especially the track, has a lot of uncertainty in it. We're just, several days out. But the timing would be Wednesday-ish to Friday-ish time frame, watching the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, and then the northeast for potential impact. So this is Wednesday at 4 o'clock. This is the European model. And again, this one is much more bullish. It's closer to the coast, so it brings a more intense wind and snow event, but still hugging the coast. So it's more of a coastal event than anything else. A lot of wind up here getting into the Gulf of Maine, getting into Nova Scotia as we get you into Friday morning. Watching that forecast, it could be significant snowfall. Places like South Jersey, the Delmarva could see that, and of course up into parts of Maine as well. So there's the potential for this, Reynolds. There's still a lot of details that we need to fine tune. But regardless, it's going to be cold.